About at 70s again today. We're still at 74 in Indianapolis, but it's back to the 50s when that cooler air arrives.
And the UK will soon get a new prime minister, but the process, it's not complete just yet. The steps needed.
Plus, a historical marker has been dedicated in Posey County tonight, how it honors 7 African-American men who were lynched 144 years ago. Here are the other headlines tonight. Rishi Sunak is set to become Britain's new prime minister, succeeding Liz Truss, who resigned after just 7 weeks. At 42, Sunak becomes Britain's youngest prime minister in 200 years. He has South Asian roots and becomes the first Hindu leader of that country. Sunak will now be asked by King Charles to form a government there, and a handover of power from Truss tomorrow.
Well, actor and comedian Leslie Jordan has died at the age of 67. And while Jordan was driving this morning in Hollywood, it's believed that he suffered a medical emergency and crashed his car into the side of a building. The actor was well known for his work on Call Me Kat, American Horror Story, and Will and Grace. And a historical marker has been dedicated in Posey County, Indiana, for 7 African-American men who were lynched 144 years ago.
The men were accused of various crimes but never received a court trial. No one responsible for their deaths ever faced prosecution.
Aaron Hancock has more on how the marker came about and the student who was behind the effort.
144 years ago, an unthinkable crime occurred. 7 Posey County African-American men were killed in October of 1878. Daniel Harrison Sr., his sons John and Daniel Jr., Jim Good, William Chambers, Ed Warner, and Jeff Hopkins. While they were accused of various crimes, they never received a proper court trial, and no one responsible for their deaths ever faced prosecution.
I'd lived here all my life, and the fact that I didn't know something so atrocious happened, I really thought that if I didn't know about it, I'm sure other people didn't know about it, and I really wanted to make sure that these men weren't forgotten.
That's Sophie Kloppenberg, a senior at Mount Vernon who learned of the incidents during a simple driving test and has helped bring it all to light.
My driving instructor, Dr. Tom Guggenheim, he told me about the events that happened, and then I read the book, Judge Lynch, and the rest is history.
The story goes that 3 white women alleged that they were raped by several black men. Chambers, Warner, Good, and Hopkins were all taken to jail, and as word spread around town, an unruly mob formed that went to the jail to get them and lynched them on a tree outside the Posey County Courthouse. Daniel Harrison Sr. was later killed by the mob, and his 2 sons, Junior and John, were also murdered.
It's frustrating and horrible and sad and crazy, and I don't even know how to describe it. It was common at that time, at least, for people to bypass the laws and for especially white men to take it upon themselves to administer the law to black communities because they felt like they had power over them.
Out of this tragedy, though, is some good news. After learning of this story, Kloppenberg pushed for 2 historical markers to remember the 7 men who were killed. They were unveiled Sunday in a ceremony beside the courthouse.
I'm happy that everyone's here because I think this is everyone's history, black and white and everything in between. This isn't just black people's history, this isn't just white people's history, it's Posey County's history.
Now, the process of getting the markers, it wasn't easy, as Kloppenberg met with the Posey County commissioners 3 separate times, informing them of the history and determining the proper wording for the marker.